Guys, welcome to day 5 at December Daily, and today I am going to be playing with the little set of tags that I had created when I put my foundation pages together. And what I had decided in advance, so I don't always do it this way, but sometimes I do, and I kind of know some of the stories that I'm going to tell. Some of them are things that I've repeated every year, and some of them are daily observation sorts of things, and other ones are just generalized stories that I know that I want to document during this time. And so today I'm going to do 5 things I am thankful for, 5 things I am grateful for. You could do, things on someone's wish list. You could do 5 favorite memories from the year. There's lots of other ways that you could approach this, but the general idea is having some kind of a list, right? I mean, that's kind of the root of it. Instead of doing a list that is just printed out and put in here, we're going to play with the tags. So if you remember, foundation pages looked something like this. Yesterday, with the layout that I did, I ended up taking this 6x8 page out, so I may use that at another time with that star paper. So a couple things that I am going to be doing today. One is a couple days ago I took this picture in my kitchen, and it was when I was getting ready to eat lunch, and I just saw the light coming in the window, and I loved it, and I loved it that my paper whites are blooming, which is something that I usually plant every year and then force them to bloom inside. And it just is a very peaceful image for me. And so, it's just a piece of December in my house, having a candle there, that kind of thing. So I'm going to use this as the back image here for the back of the photo from yesterday. If you guys remember, it looked like the one where I'm adding the greenery to the porch, right? There's the photo from yesterday. So today, this is going to be the photo that's just going to get adhered back to back on here, and then I'll punch holes in it again. And then what I've decided to do to hold these tags in place, so this was my question originally. I had this page protector in here that's 2 4x6s. I'm actually going to take that out and may get used somewhere else, may not. Day 6 is going to be some of the 2x2 pockets, so I'm going to leave that in there. And what I've decided to do is use a large tag to create a pocket that this will sit in, okay? And so there's a couple different ways that can come to fruition for me, and this is where I'm starting with this. So I have one of these large, I think this is 4x8 manila tags. I also have a tag that came in a Studio Calico kit. I can't remember if this was the main scrapbook kit last month or something, but it has this awesome gold foil on the bottom, which would also make a great home for this. So it kind of depends on what you have at home. You could leave this blank. You could paint it, which is kind of what I'm thinking about doing. Painting it white, painting it a different color, putting stencils on it. I could use this stencil. I could use the big star stencil that I used inside the cover of my album. Just tons of different options. But the other thing that I did is I took a piece of transparency, and so this one I believe is from Bella Boulevard, and I will get confirmation on that when I do the supply list. But my plan is to I cut it to the same size, right, to the width, and about, a little more than halfway up here. This will then get stitched, and I'm going to use my sewing machine, and I'm going to stitch it all around the side to create a pocket that these can sit inside of. Okay, that is my plan for today, that this part could hang out, this part could sit in there, and then it will get placed in the album as a page. This is my plan. We're going to see how this goes. Like I said, you could use a printed tag like this. You could cut your own tag. It doesn't have to be any of these. You could use a different kind of transparency. Obviously, the idea is simply to create a pocket to hold those gratitudes. So that's the first thing, is kind of dealing with the tag. And then the second thing is going to be deciding how I want to, I think I'm probably just going to end up writing on the back of each tag, something that says, what I'm thankful for, thankful number 1, thankful number 2. I do have a gratitude stamp set that came out a couple months ago, or last month, I think. So I may use that as well. I'm not sure, I haven't decided, but I just thought of that as I was standing here. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. I think I'm going to go ahead And I'll paint the tag. I may personally end up using this tag because I kind of love the gold on there. But I'll do an example of what I think this would look like as well, and then we'll see what I choose in the end. Oh, the other thing too is I think I'm going to take the number 5 from the Emily Ley kit, which was the one I had designated already, and I think I'm going to put it right on top of the glue it on here on top of the pocket. It may go up on the page itself, but I think I'll probably just put it right on there, and then a portion of day 6 will be on the back of the tag as well. So that is my starting place. Here we go. All right, so the first step is simply painting the tag. I decided to use white gesso for my tag and just using kind of a regular paintbrush. One thing I liked about this kind of paintbrush is that it did leave a texture. I ended up doing about 3 coats, so you can plan on that in terms of the amount of time it's going to take if you're wanting to paint one of those large manila tags. After that, you can see that I went ahead and I used the gold tinsel embossing powder again with the large 12 by 12 star stencil. I didn't get it on video, but you can see it's the same thing, same technique that I did for my foundation pages, just basically using the Versamark on top of the stencil and then putting the embossing powder on top. You also saw that small paintbrush. Make sure that you allow the background paint to dry before you do the embossing powder. I used the paintbrush to try to get rid of the extra embossing powder that wanted to stick because my paint wasn't dry yet. So the embossing powder wants to stick to anything wet. So keep that in mind as you're doing it. Definitely let that background tag dry first before doing that. But that's the Ranger Gold Tinsel. Next, I took that Star Transparency and I ran it through my sewing machine. I don't know anything about special sizes of needles or anything like that. I don't sew on clothes, just paper usually. So I just whatever needle was in there is the one that I used to create that pocket, just stitching around 3 sides of it. Then I'm going to go ahead and adhere my photos back to back there. That's from the day 4, and then putting my day 5 photo directly on top of that, and then using the Crop-A-Dile to punch holes. That's what you saw me just do a minute ago too, onto that tag page. Crop-A-Dile had no problem, with the transparency plus the tag going through there as well. Next up for me was just getting that in there, and then I still needed to add the number. Oh, actually you can see there I needed to trim off a little bit because my page sizes weren't trimmed exactly right. So you can lay that on a trimmer or just use your scissors, which is what I ended up doing. You can see there's still a little bit of a white edge on the side, so I did end up laying it on the trimmer as well to take care of that. It's one of those things that it's personal preference on how clean you want something to be like that as well. Next up was gluing down the Gold 5 that's from the Emily Ley December Daily mini kit, and I'm using a red line tape. It's just a 1/4 inch red line tape that is linked in the supply list below. This is one of my favorite adhesives. It's very sticky and being permanent in a good sort of way. Double-sided adhesive, it's clear, so you can see on there I'm just putting the red on the back, and then I'm going to peel it up to be able to adhere it on top of the transparency. It also works great on the back of those rubber embellishments, so I just laid a little bit on top of there as well to be able to adhere that then on the top, right in the center of my photo, kind of using the lines from the window as a guide of where I wanted to get that. I have a little addendum at the end of the video here where I did a couple more things on that page, added a small little gold star and a little bit of stamping underneath the Remember This, just to link it a little bit more to the pocket page there as well. Next up was starting to tackle the tags. You see there's a little loop pin and the chipboard star and then the other token piece. But on the back I wanted to write the things I was thankful for. I picked 5 things that I'm thankful for right now, and I'm using washi tape along the bottom there for a little bit of decoration. That washi tape was included in the main kit as well. And just, you could mix it up. You could have different washi tape on the bottom of each one. You could have pattern paper on the bottom. It's really up to you in terms of what sort of decoration you want, but I am definitely enjoying the gold piece in there, and it's just an easy way to create some repetition on these tags. I did a couple other things on there as well that you will see in a minute in terms of creating a home for my actual words of Thanksgiving. All right, so here's a look at how the tags ended up. It's super dark in here right now and just kind of running out of my good light. You saw me put the washi tape along the bottom. Remember, these are the number tags here. And then I went ahead and I stamped "'Tis the Season." That came off of this stamp set. "'Tis the Season" on the top of each one using Well Red Color Theory ink. And then underneath I just wrote, and then on the bottom I took sequins from the main kit. So these are just a gold sequin plus the red sequin laying on top of it. And I varied it along the bottom so that all of the bulk wasn't in one place when you put it all together like this. So that's something to consider when you're putting it in the pocket. If you add a bunch of embellishments to each of these tags, they're going to get pretty bulky. I tested this one already and I could see that it would fit in there, but just keeping that in mind. So by staggering the embellishments, at least it's a little bit more spread out versus having it be super thick in the middle because they're all in the middle there. For me, giving thanks, I just said I'm thankful for a bunch of things. Some of it's holiday related. Being thankful for the paper whites, which are in the main picture. Thankful for the lights on the tree and just the twinkle lights, which is one of my favorite things. Thankful for the kids' spirit, holiday spirits. Kind of just a general thankful for job and house and relationships and the hard stuff too. So the mix of all of that. And then one about being thankful for Erin. I also wanted to point out along the bottom here, I just use little, these are small sticky dots. These ones are from American Crafts, but there's lots of other ones as well. These ones I have in my shop and I've been using them and they work great. And so the red one has a sticky dot underneath it, and then the gold one has one as well. So they feel like they're pretty good stuck on there. Again, for your own story for this one, definitely, whether you're doing a list of giving thanks, you're doing a list of, favorite memories so far, you want to save this one for later in the month. There's lots of options for how you want to work with making a little tag book like this. And it's something that you could do again later in the month as well. Remember, I'm using this a little pin here from Tim Holtz, kind of like a safety pin, and then I had the wood veneer star as well as the little token from Tim that says Cherish on it. And I'm just going to attach that back together with this like safety pin loop, and I'm just going to stick it inside the pocket here and call it good for this day. One thing I was just writing on the blog post while I was working on this too, to remind everybody is not every day is going to be, have as much as I've done this past week. Kids have been with Chris, well, at least per part of the days. So it's likely that mine are going to get a little quicker and shorter coming up. Just with different things I have going on and with the kids being back home. So day 6 will be tackled tomorrow, and I hope you guys enjoy your own day 5. And if you have any questions, feel free to leave them on the post or in the comments below. And just one last thing I want to show you that I added when I was getting ready to take the photos. I decided I wanted something else with this banner. And so I stamped "'Tis the Season" twice. Again, that repeats what's on the back of the cards. And just added a little gold star, which also connects to the other gold stars we have going on over there. I just feel like it needed a little bit more of a tie-in. And that was my choice for that.